Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time to work on my next page challenge in the 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches Book Challenge. I have been working hard to get through all 101 of these this year, and we've been making good progress along the way. For this sketch, I will be working from page 40 and using the Birds and Blossoms collection. So let me get things switched over so you can see what we're going to be working with today. Here is the sketch on page 40. This one has a little bit more going on with it. I've used a couple of different size mats, including a couple from our mat pack. And I did pull out my brocade chain border maker cartridge. I also have a scrap that we created in one of our previous layouts that I pulled out, and because this squares spoke to me, because that is exactly the scrap that we had from punching some squares in a different layout using our Birds and Blossoms collection. So you can definitely search my channel to find that one. I will do my best to get it linked in the description box, but just in case I forget, it is there. For the base of this layout, we are going to be using the tulip page on one side that has this blue with kind of like what looks like rain speckles coming down on the back side of it. We're going to be using the tulip side up on the left side of our page and the rain speckled side on the right side of our page. So both of your blue tulip page for this layout, or pages, I should say. This is what our brocade chain border maker cartridge looks like. You do need the border maker system to use it. And we will punch out two borders using our baby blue cardstock for this layout. And you're also going to need your smallest circle from your custom cutting system with your green blade. We're going to cut around the outside on one of our mats. So I will show you more about that as we get to it. First, we're going to go ahead and put together the left side of our page. And I have, let's see, several things here. I have the striped paper. This layout was actually really good for using up some scraps from different things I've done with this collection. This is the one with the white with the leaves on the back side of it that I used in my Night Blooming Jasmine video quite a bit. And we're going to actually center this along the bottom of our page first, and then we're going to layer on our punched out piece that we've done with the orange paper, orange speckled paper that has the butterflies on the back. We're going to be using this for some mats on our page as well, because then we reinforce the colors a little bit. And if y'all have watched any of my videos, you know I am a little bit fussy about color. I am a chef and food technologist, and color is just one of my things. So this strip is 11 1/4 by 2 1/8. So let me see where we need to be at. I think it's going to be right around 5/8 is what it looks like. That's about right. You essentially will have one tulip popping up on either side of your strip. Just kind of nice to see those extra little tulips, although we're going to cover one of them with our brocade chain. Actually, I probably should put my brocade chain first because I think that's going to hide behind the strip just a little bit. Yes. Okay. Here we go. This is usually I thought I had the plan in my head, but every once in a while I miss a step, and so let me grab out my multi-purpose tool. We're just going to lift this up ever so slightly to be able to get this under this paper here. Makes it super easy. And we're just going to run this along the edge of our page. Move these pieces out of the way here. There we go. All right, so brocade chain is on. Our strip is down. multi-purpose tools going back. I also did cut to 1/4 of an inch by 11-inch pieces from our baby blue cardstock as well. And that's going to run along the top of our page. I need to figure out how low I was going to put those. We'll figure that out in a minute. Let's get this one on next. And I will do my best to quit jumping around so much. It's just one of those mornings, apparently. I get them from time to time. We all do, I think. Got excited to be filming again this morning. It's been, I guess, not too long. But it is a different mindset and thought process. You can see where I was just off ever so slightly on my squares. I had 1, 2, 3, 5 of them in a really nice pattern, and then my last one I went off somehow, and I don't know if I just realized I needed to remember to punch with purpose or what there. Okay, layering paper is centered, so this one has got to get lined up on it. Not the easiest task here with this being so thin in these pieces here. Okay, got my bottom down. I'm going up from this edge here and over a little bit. Okay, so now that's on. I can see a little bit of one of my stripes over here, but it's okay. Completely fine. And then we have our strip. I think I was going to run it in the middle of this one here. See, that way it's kind of under our one row of tulips here. Yep. So making the paper do a little bit of the work for us here. Put a little bit of repositionable tape on your 1/4 inch strip. We're going to go from the right side of the page here, running it through and across. Oops. I'm just off the edge of the paper a little bit there. Let me get myself sorted back out here. Slowing down, taking a breath. And adjusting just a little bit here. Okay, there we go. All right. Next, we have our mats that we're going to be using on our page. I have 2 of our larger mats, the 4.5 by 6.5. One has the blue and one has the yellow. They both have stripes on the back. The yellow has orange stripes and the blue has light blue stripes. Let's get a little bit of tape going on these. We're going to put at an angle. And this is how they have it on the sketch a bit. So we're just following the sketch. Amazingly enough, I'm going to flip this over as well and get my tape runner going over here also. And this one is going to go over. And we do cover up our brocade chain just a little bit. And just about, let me double check, about 1/4 of an inch, I think. Yep, 1/4 of an inch from the top edge of our box at the bottom here. This one, the bottom corner, is going to be on this edge of the paper. And we're going to come bring this down a little bit as well. About 1/4 of an inch again above the lower point here. All right, and then this one is going the opposite angle, and actually I put tape runner on it, and I should have put a little bit of the foam tape because we want it to layer in nicely here in the middle. Grab out my microtip scissors. I kind of like the popping up the photos a little bit sometimes. And just bear in mind that yeah, okay, your mats here are the 4.5 by 6.5. So it's going to be, our photos are going to be just a little bit inside of it. And that means that it's okay if we're overlapping just a little bit because we're going to have a broader, ooh, that needs to go up just a little. Okay. Whew, that was close. Almost went too far down on that one. So here's that. Let's get this one going here. Yep. So this is following a slightly other angle, but I put the foam tape on the paper, and we may actually need to, when we go to put our photos on, I might just put like a small foam square so that way this doesn't sag and stick into our, I probably could put a little bit of baking soda underneath that where I put that tape runner on there, but it's okay for our purposes today. I think it's going to be just fine. I also have one of our 4x6 mats I cut in half. It's the one that looks like it has windy and cloudy. I'm not sure what the rest of it was, the saying was on it. But I thought this page needed a journal box. So that is going to go up here in this upper right corner, just underneath this other mat, just a little bit. Next to our brocade chain, it does cover up a little bit of the end of our strip, or you can always move it just a hair so that way you see the end of the strip. And actually, I got one more tulip peeping out here, so I think that's what I'm gonna do is move it over so you can see that other little tulip peeping through. I know the focus is going to be our photos, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of have those little details as well. Finally, I punched 2 of our fresh flower punched with our blue cardstock. These are going to go over here in the corners of our squares. And this for the other side of our layout. These are going to go into these 2 end boxes here. And I found spring in our stickers. And this is, we have enough to put in 1 in each spacing here. And I'm wondering how I'm going to do these ends. Well, let's see how our S fits in with our center of our flower here. That should be okay. There we go. We're just going to overlay those. Make sure you push through the pieces. Let me make sure I'm going straight across the page here. And I am about 3/4. Yep. So it's right at the 3/4 inch mark on my 0 centering ruler. Is where I'm at going across my page. And this is going to be good for, I kind of want to center them in your squares as well. And apparently I'm not going to be completely straight either, but that's, I guess, being human. It's okay if it's not completely straight. Looks like each one of our squares we know is about 1 3/4. It just needs to come down, doesn't it? That's why I put the ruler there. Run around the circle here, it looks like. Yep. All right, there is our spring going across the bottom of our page. The left side of our page is now done. And you can see spring going across there just ever so subtly, but it's kind of nice. I don't usually do things like that, but I just thought it fit, and it fit in the spaces, so why not give it a try? I like trying different and new things. That's partially why I've been doing so many of these sketches, just seeing what I can come up with. If there's something a little different, a different interpretation, I like to challenge myself creatively, so just worked out. Okay, so I have this one facing the edge of the paper. All right, just want to make sure I mimic the other side with my brocade chain. So this is the right side of my page now that we're putting together. And since I only had one of those squares or sets of square scraps, we are going to do something a little different on this side of the page. I pulled out one of my laser cut borders with the tulips, and we're going to use the side that has the blue on it because we do have so much blue running through our page. Here we go. And then we've got that extra little 1/4 inch by 11-inch strip for the top of our page here. And I need to bring in my other side of the page so I get this one running through the same point here. And we have our mats again. For this side, I do have another smaller one. This one is the 5.5 by 3.5. And then we have 2 more of our 6.5 by 4.5 mats from the mat pack. I have the one with the light blue and the green on the outside. Back of the light blue has the green stripes. Back of the green has the yellow stripes. Let's get some tape runner going on these. And these are going to probably sit maybe just a little, no tape runner on that one. They might sit a little bit lower on our page because I also found this is the mat that I cut with my small custom cutting system circle and my green blade, because this was one of our 4x6 mats, and I just thought it looked great. It says everything grows with love, and it's going to go up here at the top of our page as a decorative element. These are going to go this direction. So let's see how this fits on the page with this. Okay. Just want to make sure I line things up the way I was thinking of, and this is going to be a little bit closer to the bottom of our page here. Well, I guess it's about 1/4 inch from that tulip point there. Let me get some tape runner on this as well so I can place this up here before I completely put my mat down, because this is going to overlap this piece up here. Whoops. Okay. And we do have a little bit of a flat edge still because it's a 4x6 mat. And yeah, these are definitely going to sit lower than the other side of our page. And I think that's going to be okay. I mean, we can offset this one a little bit, so that way it's not as far off from the other side. Yep. And then we'll get our foam tape again for in the middle of these two. Going this other way just a little bit, maybe up here. Okay. So foam tape is going to run through here. And we'll just grab the 3 pieces again. Here we go. And then I found 2 other flowers on our sticker sheet. These are the ones with the blue, and I just thought, let's add them to our wreath because we do have so much blue on our page. And this one doesn't have as much of the blue. It brings in the orange. But it kind of just adds a little extra touch by placing the extra blue flowers through our wreath here. And then the right side of our page is now done. Let me bring in both pages so you can see them together. All right, here we go. You'll have to let me know what you think of this page. It's definitely bright and colorful, but you can see we're adding just these little extra touches of blue, draw in from the darker blue that we put on this left side of the left page, and kind of we have the other colors running through the center. Here is the sketch again, so you can see. And then I did kind of follow this little circle coming down here in the squares along the bottom, just in a different way, and kind of stretched the layout this way. And of course added the brocade chain to the sides. And I just thought it was nice to have this extra little strip through it where they had the word art, or the words going across the top of the page. All right, that is it for our page. Let me get our card sorted out here, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. For our card, I have grabbed one of our cards from our blank card kit, and we are going to use up quite a few scraps, as well as the other half of the mat that we used on the layout, the other 4x6 mat. Just thought this was really kind of a cute checklist, and it worked out nicely with the card I planned. I am using the green leaf paper as the back side. We're going to use the colorful floral side for the base of our card. I did cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which was our standard A2 card. I also had several scrappy strips from this orange paper that had the butterflies. We're going to use the butterfly side up. This strip is a 2" by 1" strip going in this bottom corner here. And then we're also going to layer these two, a little bit of overlap here. This strip is 2" by 3/4 inch. And our butterfly piece is 4" by 3/4 inch. And I just want the blue to be over just a bit at the bottom here, because with our mat, we have just a little bit of blue overlap up here. And that's what's going to layer here, is just this little end. Let's stick those together first, because this one was a little bit tricky to get lined up actually on the card. And I think if we have our 2 pieces put together first, let's, one of the companies I worked for always said, work smart, not hard. and this is working smart. I don't know. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with hard work either. I guess that's my one of my things. I do work hard in general. But there we go. You can see this piece now is complete, and we're going to go ahead and overlap it here on our page. And this is just making it easy so we don't have to even really think about where we're lining it up. Finally, I found this Hello Spring with this beautiful orange blossom that can bring back in the blossoms on our card here. Grab out a couple of foam squares to place under this one. Just think it needs to be popped up a little bit, add a little bit of extra attention to our card. And, you know, this is kind of a little bit how I feel about Washington State. We've had such a rainy winter that it's just kind of fun to say hello to spring. I think this might be a fun card to invite a friend to coffee, to get out in the spring. I mean, granted, we definitely need to get out in the winter too, or else you get some of that, you know, gray sky depression going on. But here is just a great hello spring. You know, the weather conditions, sunny, rainy, windy, cloudy, and just perfect, can all happen in a week, a day. It's always changing, isn't it? But just kind of a fun, cheery, and bright card. And it could just even be a thinking about you card for a friend. And I forgot to reinforce my edge here, didn't I? So I'm going to do that real quick. And in the meantime, I will ask you all to leave a thumbs up if you liked my sketch interpretation and my card. If you would like to leave me a comment, I do answer each and every comment that is put on my page. I love hearing from you all. And with that, I'll show you the card one more time and say until next time.